Hello and welcome to the next video of our series in exploring Experience Center and how that relates to the current administrator consoles. And what we're going to be covering today is Zscaler Private Access, more specifically the private infrastructure components of ZPA. And what you'll see here is the current ZPA console, and you can log into your standard administrator console. And over here on the left, you'll see things like configuration and control, and you'll see a spot here called private infrastructure. Now, private infrastructure encompasses things like app connectors, private service edge management, log receivers, and there's also a section here for cloud connectors and branch connector management as well. You also see that some of the policies are also spread out, so not under private infrastructure, but here under policy, we have things like client forwarding policy, and that's specific for Zscaler client connector client forwarding policies. Moving over to Zscaler Experience Center, you'll see a much different look here. And if you've watched the previous video in this series, you'll know that Zscaler Experience Center is the single console that's going to encompass many Zscaler services, including Zscaler Private Access. So going over here on top to infrastructure, and we want to look specifically at private access, the first thing we'll see is a lot of those private infrastructure components that we saw on the standard Zscaler Private Access console. You'll see things like app connectors, private service edges, cloud and branch connector, infrastructure certificates, and as well VPN for legacy apps. So that's an additional service that is available for Zscaler Private Access. Continuing on the left here, under private access infrastructure, you'll also see things like business continuity. So this is the business continuity component for Zscaler Private Access, private clouds, disaster recovery, B2B exchange, which is our extranet service, as well as those client connector policies, those client forwarding policy and redirection policies, all available here under infrastructure and private access. Moving to the right here, we have locations, and these locations, legacy locations, location groups, and location templates, these are all related to branch and cloud connector components. So these are going to be encompassed with those types of connectors. And speaking of connectors, if we go right one more, we will see the different types of connectors. There's the Zscaler Client Connector, which encompasses many of the Zscaler services, including Zscaler Private Access, but you'll also see all of the options here. So there's specific platform settings, supportability, enrolled devices as well, postures, and the like. Also included here are edge connectors. These are also known as these branch connectors here as well. And then lastly, cloud connector here. And you'll be able to see all of these components without having to switch portals, without having to log into multiple administrator consoles, and everything is just under here, under the infrastructure tab, under private access or locations or connectors, depending on the service you're looking for. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you found this useful. And as always, have a nice day.